welcome to our short 25-minute grounding yoga practice together. My name is Kaitlynn and I will be guiding you through your practice today. So this sequence is specifically designed to promote a sense of ease and calm in the body when you're feeling a little bit unsettled or maybe experiencing some anxiety. So just know that these shapes are a safe place for you to really lead into and be with any discomfort that comes along with anxiety. And we will just get started in a comfortable seat. So you could either cross your legs or you could sit up onto a pillow or a block just to create a little bit of lift. If that doesn't really work for your body, you could also sit with your knees together on your heels, or you could even lay down if that's what you really need today. So wherever you are, just begin to settle in, taking a little bit of movement through the shoulders before settling into stillness. So we do want to have the palms facing down on our lap on the knees. This helps to promote a sense of grounding through the body energetically. Sitting up nice and tall as you feel the lift through the spine. Roll the shoulders back to open up through the heart, and then just close the eyes, or you could softly focus your gaze to one spot in front of you. Now let's just take one deep breath here to arrive all together. So take a full inhale through your nose, all the way to the peak, nice and slow and deep. And then big exhale through the mouth. You can even sigh, make it audible to really let go of any energy that you're carrying with you that isn't serving you. And then just take a few moments to check in with how you're feeling right now. So what is true for you in this moment? You can scan your body from the tips of the toes to the crown of your head, just noticing anything interesting that you're experiencing physically. So perhaps you feel some tightness, stickiness through certain areas of the body. Maybe some areas of your body feel like they're at a different temperature, or even moving at a different speed, pulsing at a different speed. Then just taking a moment to check in with how you are feeling mentally today. So maybe you feel a little bit drained or exhausted mentally. It's also possible that you feel really light, kind of like you're buzzing from thought to thought. And just taking a moment to check in with how you are doing emotionally. So perhaps there is one or two or a few strong emotions that are present for you at the surface today. Or maybe these emotions are a little more subtle. Whatever you notice, just know that there is no right or wrong answer. You're just starting to become the observer for what is true for you in your own experience. And you're just observing without any judgment or expectation towards yourself. Now we'll just begin to layer in a more intentional breath. So we'll work with what's called a samavriti breath, an equal inhale, equal exhale, long and deep. So inhaling through the nose, feel the belly, the rib cage, and the chest expand. And then soft exhale through the nose as you empty out the lungs completely, all the way to the bottom. So keep going with this rhythmic breath. Deep, slow inhale through the nose. Releasing as you exhale through the nose. And this breath is really your metronome for your movement. It's also a really great anchor for your mind. Whenever you notice that your mind is drifting off outside of sensation in the body, outside of the breath, just gently guide your awareness back to your breath. How does the breath feel as it moves through your body? Just take 2 more cycles here on your own. And keep the breath fluid, but when you're ready, you can blink your eyes open. And we'll move into our first shape. So you're going to take a deep inhale as you lift it through the spine. And then as you exhale, just gently fold forward over top of your hips. Generally, it works best if you are sitting cross-legged for this, so you may need to adjust your seat. And then just start off by gently swaying from side to side. You may even kind of walk your hands over to one side and then the other side, just feeling how this changes the sensation through the hips. Still maintaining that really spacious breath. Last one here. And then inhale, nice and slow. You're going to walk your upper body back up. And then exhale to come back to center. From here, you're going to place your left hand down onto the earth. Inhale, reach the right fingers overhead. Exhale, just lean towards the left. So we're opening a little bit up into the side body, here the right side. Just maintain that grounding through both sit bones into the earth. With every inhale, you feel a little bit of lift through the spine. And every exhale, you find your depth. Just noticing that space as you take your inhale through the right rib cage. And then nice smooth inhale to bring yourself back up to center. Exhale to release. And we'll switch sides. So place the right palm down. Inhale, reach the left fingers up. And then as you exhale, you're going to lean towards the right. Any amount that feels sustainable for you on this side. Just looking for that nice opening all the way, maybe from the shoulder down through the rib cage. You might even feel this a little bit into the outer hip, maybe even the low back. Take a couple more breaths here, that pulsing with the breath. Inhale to find a little bit of lift. And as you exhale, find your depth. Smooth inhale to come back up to center. Exhale, release your arms alongside you. And you're going to spin if you were facing the opposite way. So that you're on your mat lengthwise. Bring the big toes together. Knees will go quite a lot apart. And then we'll find child's pose. You're just going to rock the hips back towards the heels, slowly lower the chest, and then melt the forehead down. So if the forehead doesn't touch the mat, if that feels uncomfortable, you could stack your hands into fists and then prop your forehead onto your hands, or you could wedge a pillow or a block or whatever you have handy underneath. This gentle pressure in between the eyebrows just starts to signal to the nervous system that it's okay to slow down, that you're safe to relax. Allow the belly to cool down towards the mat as your hips soften towards the heels with your exhale. So we're going to integrate a new breath technique into this posture. It's called bumblebee breath. And this is a really soothing breath for the nervous system as well. So as you inhale through your nose, you're going to do so kind of like we were regularly. And then as you exhale, you're just going to hum, kind of like the sound of a bumblebee. So we'll do 3 of these all together. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale to hum. Really focusing on the sound of your breath. Couple more. Inhale. Nice and full. Exhale to create sound. Last one. Inhale. Exhale to hum. Take one more regular breath in and out through the nose here. Notice that rippling effect that the breath has through all of the cells in your body. And then as you inhale, you can come out of your child's pose, coming onto your hands and your knees. And as you exhale, you're going to come into downward facing dog just for a moment here. If it feels good, you can pedal at the feet. Just release any tension that you might feel through the backs of the legs. And as you inhale, you're going to lift your heels. Exhale, walk your feet up to the top of your mat. Once you get here, inhale, you're going to straighten out your back, so halfway lift. And as you breathe out, you're going to fold forward. Keep the legs nice and strong here. As you inhale, you're going to slowly come all the way up. Reach your arms overhead. Exhale, draw the hands to heart center. Take a moment here to feel the grounding through the feet. Spread the toes wide. You're going to stay as you are. I'm just going to turn here so that you can see me better as I demonstrate our next posture. So we're going to move into a balancing posture called tree pose. You're going to keep the left foot connected down onto the mat. Hands will land onto your hips, and then just open up the right knee. So you might stay here. This is perfect with your toes on the earth, but if you feel like you want a little bit more challenge with your balance today, you could place the right foot to the inside of the left leg, the calf, the thigh maybe, whatever feels good for you. And then once you've found your base, so you inhale, you're going to draw your hands to heart center. Just find one spot in front of you that isn't moving to focus your gaze to. Focusing the gaze just helps to find a little bit more focus in the mind. And then find that steady rhythm of breath to support you through your balance. Awesome. So bring your hands back to your hips. Inhale, the right knee's going to come through. Exhale, release the feet. You could shake your legs out, and then we'll just switch sides. So reach down through the right foot, and then open the left knee. This side might be completely different than the other side, so just honor that. You might need to change where your foot was. Just take a few moments to play around. Once you've found your steadiness through the legs, you can draw your hands to heart center, thumbs in line with the chest. And then come back to the breath. If you want to challenge your balance a little bit more, you can even try closing the eyes here, just see what happens. It's definitely going to be a bit more challenging to balance, but see if you can remain playful. If you happen to fall or lose your balance, just come back into this without any judgment towards yourself. One more breath. Great. And then you blink your eyes back open if they were closed. Hands line under the hips. Inhale, the left knee's going to come through. Then as you exhale, land your feet down onto the earth. You can shake the legs out here. I'm just going to turn here again, but you're going to stay where you were. You can clasp your hands behind your back. A little bit of a bend through the elbows. Inhale, lift up through the chest. As you exhale, fold over top of the knees, nice and slow. You can stay here for a breath or two with the arms, or when you're ready, you can release your hands back down to the mat. So our gentle forward fold, taking it really passive, so allow the upper body to just hang over top of the legs. Can feel nice to grab for opposite elbows, or maybe rock from front to back. Can feel good to sway through the upper body. Allow the head to hang heavy so that the back of the neck is long. Just rinsing out any tension through the backs of the legs and the spine with every breath. When our head is below our heart, that also starts to signal to the heart that it is okay to slow down. So you might notice your heartbeat change here. And then slowly release your fingertips down onto the mat. You're going to walk your feet about mat width distance apart. The toes are going to point out slightly. And then as you exhale, slowly lower your hips down towards the mat. So from here, it doesn't really matter if your heels touch the mat. Do whatever is going to be comfortable for your ankles. It can also feel nice and supportive to have something wedged underneath your seat. And when you're ready, you can place the elbows to the inside of the thighs. Palms connect. A little bit of a lift through the chest as you feel that lowering that heaviness through the pelvis, through the hips. Again, you could even play around with rocking from side to side here. Nourishing inhales, deep long exhales. And then when you're ready to come out, you're going to place the palms down. Slowly lift the hips up, Walk the feet back in towards one another, and then just plant the hands as you lower down onto your knees. We're just going to rinse that out with a couple of cycles of cat-cow through the spine. So as you inhale, lift up through the chest into gaze. Exhale, slowly round through the spine, lift the upper back. Inhale, slide it forward, let the belly button drop. Exhale, rounding through the spine. Couple more. Inhale. And just noticing any areas of the spine that are carrying a lot of extra tension. Weaving the breath into those areas to create release. And then you can make your way back to center. From here, as you inhale, you're going to stretch your left leg behind you. And as you exhale, you're just going to plant your left foot in between your hands. You may need to slide your back knee a little bit further behind you, just so that you're not right on the kneecap. You want to feel a nice opening through the front of your right hip. It may also be helpful to roll up the edge of your mat or use a pillow underneath your knee if you're extra sensitive. Then the front knee is over top of the front ankle to create some joint stability. And then the back toes can be tucked or untucked, whatever feels better for you. So just explore that. And again, it can feel nice to rock from side to side here gently. The hips tend to be an area of the body where a lot of tension gets stored. That could be physical or even emotional. It's not uncommon when we work into the hips for it to be very challenging on the mind. If you do notice that your mind is getting really busy, then just close your eyes. Come back to an even deeper breath. We're just going to take one more here. And then slowly to come out, you're going to plant the hands back down. Just lean your hips back and then slide your knee back into your tabletop. So we're going to switch sides. As you inhale, stretch your right leg behind you. Exhale, plant the foot right in between the hands, and then you again adjust the other knee, the left knee this time. Right knee's over top of right ankle. Maybe rocking from side to side. Notice if you start to carry tension in anywhere else in your body. That doesn't really need to be tense or putting an effort. Relax the jaw, the space between your eyebrows. Last breath. And slowly walk your way out. Coming back into tabletop. If you'd like, you could take one more of those cat-cow movements here. And then nice and slow, we're just going to make our way to lay down onto our back. Just take a few moments here to recalibrate. Check in with the quality of your breath. Check in with how you're doing in your mind. Just letting go of anything that you may be carrying with you mentally that just isn't really necessary for the next few minutes as we move through the remainder of our practice. Just give yourself permission to let go of any worrying, planning, thinking. All you have to do is simply be. Be with your experience of sensation and breath. And then from here, you're going to draw your right knee in towards your chest. Interlock your hands over top of your right shin or even the back of your leg. Now the left leg can stay long as you flex your left toes, or you can plant the sole of your foot down if you need a little bit more support for your low back. Then for the first couple breaths, just drawing some circles around with that right knee. So you massage out the hip joint. And then once you feel that sweet spot of compression through the right hip, you could stay for a few breaths. And there's little effort here happening through the arms. Just notice the back of your body feel really heavy into the earth as it supports you. And nice and slow, you're going to plant the left foot back down onto the mat. Let go of your leg, the right leg, as you cross your right ankle over top of your left thigh. So we're looking for that opening sensation to the right outer hip and into the outer glute for thread the needle. So you may stay here if you already feel lots of sensation. Otherwise, play around with bringing your legs a little bit closer in towards your chest. And grab for the back of your left hamstring or shin, or you might need something in the middle, so you could always place something underneath your left foot to support you. It can feel nice to rock gently again from side to side, just to explore that sweet spot through the right outer hip. And then just allow the breath to work its magic here. So if you're more of a visual person, you could even imagine that as you inhale, you're creating space within the tension through the right outer hip. And then as you exhale, you're just fully letting go of any of that tension that you've been holding on to. And then take your time to come out nice and slow, almost like you're moving through honey. Give your body lots of time to readjust. And then we're going to move into the other side. So starting off with the legs long, and then you're going to hug your left knee towards your chest. Grabbing for the hamstring or the shin again. The right foot is either flexed slightly as you press the heel away or plant the foot down. Then just gently rock from side to side to massage out the outer hip. Just taking a few more breaths here. And if you notice that you are still feeling really unsettled and restless, see if you can take an even deeper exhale. So nice long inhale through the nose, maybe even counting your breath, 3 or 4 count, and maybe a 4 or a 5 count as you exhale through the nose. And we'll transition to thread the needle. So you're going to plant the right sole of the foot down, cross the left ankle over top of the right thigh, and then play around. So maybe drawing your legs a little bit closer in, maybe halfway in the middle, or maybe back on the ground. You could always rock from side to side. And we're just looking for that opening through the left outer hip. No pain, no pinching. And just coming back to that really soft sound of your breath as it grazes the back of your throat. And then slowly release with your next exhale. You can either hug the knees in towards the chest, if that feels good for the low back, or you might extend the legs long. And from here, you're going to bring the soles of the feet together. The knees are just going to drop open for a reclined butterfly. So here, take a few moments to adjust your heels. Sometimes it can feel better to bring them a little bit closer in towards the groin, or sometimes it can feel better to have them further apart. So just feel it out, see what works best for you. Maybe you wedge your fists underneath your thighs if you feel like your legs need a little bit of extra support. Another option, if you feel like your hips are all right like this, then you can also place your right hand onto your belly as your left hand lands right onto your heart. And then just closing the eyes and feel that direct connection that your breath has to your physical body. So as you inhale, can you feel the low belly expand into your palm? And as you exhale, feel the front of your body soften as the rhythm of your heart starts to slow down as it beats into the left palm. Shoulders stay soft. Last breath here. And then slowly release. Use the help of your hands to gently guide the knees back together. You again might squeeze the knees in, rock from side to side. Then just for a few breaths, you're going to bring your legs straight up into the air. So this is a nice posture to do if you're actually close to a wall. It's called waterfall or legs up the wall. So if you do this up against the wall with your legs pressed, you can stay there for 10 minutes or even longer, and that just starts to, again, bring the blood flow back up towards the brain. So this starts to signal to our parasympathetic nervous system, the part of our nervous system that controls rest and relaxation, signals to that part of the nervous system that it's okay to slow down again. Just rinsing out any remaining tension in the legs. Just take 3 more cycles of your own breath here. And slowly release the legs long. We're going to move into our final resting shape Shavasana. Before we do that though, we're just going to do one last little bit of movement. So starting on your back, you're just going to use your heels to kind of rock your body up and down your mat gently. The back of your body remains heavy. Again, this gentle motion is just really nourishing for our nerves, for our brain. And just begin to slow it down as you find some stillness. So if laying on your back for your Shavasana doesn't really resonate with you, doesn't feel good, you can also lay on your side in the fetal position or on your stomach. Any position that feels comfortable for you to relax completely. Take up lots of space with your arms and your legs. Let's just take one final breath here all together. So just closing the eyes if you haven't yet. Or again, softly focus your gaze. That's genuinely uncomfortable. So deep inhale through the nose, nice and slow. Complete exhale through the mouth. Just sigh it out, let everything go. Now allow that natural rhythm of breath to return. You can let go of any control. Just allow yourself to rest. Give yourself permission to relax for a few minutes in stillness as your body just starts to absorb all of the benefits from the other shapes that we just worked through. Feel free to stay here as long as you need. I encourage you to stay here for at least an extra 10 rounds of breath. Thank you so much for sharing breath and movement together. I hope that this practice helps you to feel a little bit more grounded, a little bit more present for the remainder of your day. From my heart to yours, thank you, thank you, thank you.